Hey guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey back with another video. I wanted to actually say thank you for all of the responses I got yesterday. It was in regards to a lot of my videos that I posted up, especially with the early voting. That was pretty phenomenal, and see a lot of you guys trickling in on my pages. So again, definitely welcome to the newcomers. Yesterday's interaction with you guys has been nothing but a major blast. So again, thank you. Now, what's interesting is because kind of going back to what I discussed earlier in that last video, how on the ballot it was no more people to choose from when it comes to an opponent. We're talking about a political opponent going against the Democrat that is listed on the ballot. That's very telling within itself. You have to wonder, why is that? Why is there such an imbalance when it comes to this particular space? You know, I understand, especially with Illinois. Illinois has always been known to be a blue state. It has never changed. I don't think there's ever been a time where it was ever a red state, to be honest. Even growing up as a kid here, I just don't recall that ever being the case. I can think back to the times when, Clinton ran for office. Like, it was a huge blue wave, if you will. I can think back to the times when actually Bush won the seat, and I remember how majority of the state was not too fond of that. It's very telling within itself. I think it's safe to say when it comes to the Illinois political machine, if you will, we all know it's been a very corrupt one for decades. But again, just seeing how the ballot was formulated yesterday just really sent off red flags on my end. Again, you have to wonder, why is it that predominantly all the candidates that were on the ballot were only Democrats and nothing else? I fail to believe that there were no Republican opponents that threw their bid in, who was ready to go blow for blow against those Democratic opponents. You can't help but wonder what is going on behind the scenes. If you guys catch my drift on that one, you have to wonder. And if you guys recall, you might want to go a few videos back, like maybe 3 or 4 videos back. You guys might see a quick clip where I had put up the sheet, which it had all the list of the candidates that were running for this election period. And on that sheet, I put a little note off to the side with arrows pointing to show that the main presidential candidate as well as VP that this ward was trying to push for their citizens to vote for was Kamala Harris and Walz. Didn't say anything about Trump on there or Vance at all whatsoever. It's all an agenda, in my opinion. It truly is. And the sad thing about it is that even with all the pandering that Miss Kamala Harris has been doing for decades, actually, people are falling for this nonsense. Like I said in an older video, it's like no matter how much she shuck and jive, or she tries to change up her lingo, her verbiage, she tries to put a little twang in her wording when speaking to the public, to the crowds, thinking that she's gonna harness in the votes and truly Trump. Good luck with that. I think it's beautiful because more people are starting to wisen up, even for some of us who have been longtime supporters of them from the jump, to see that more people are starting to jump on the bandwagon and they truly are starting to do their research. It's a beautiful thing. And I would just hope that more will continue to do so. I would just hope that we can get to a point as a collective and truly understand that Yes, we are of different backgrounds. We're actually more of a blended group, every single last one of us. It's not just one particular group, like, oh, you're completely this, you're completely that. No, we're blended in our own way. But yet we all still bleed the same. That part will forever be the top factor in all of this. And the moment that we can get out of being so tied to our social conditioning that we were brought up on, the moment we can start to truly think for ourselves, the better off we will be as a collective. I've never really been a fan of politicians who always try to heavily implement what we call the bandwagoning technique. That is another thing. For those who also studied in political science, like myself, you know what I'm talking about when I say this. Now, granted, a lot of the politicians, even Trump, uses it sparingly, but I feel like, in a sense, if you truly want to get to the core of the issues here, if you truly want to be able to speak to the hearts of the citizens within this nation, do it authentically. Don't say things you think that we will want to hear that will soothe our ear, but then when it's time to get down with the get down, you are pussyfooting when it's time to do so. A lot of us are starting to become more aware, and we are watching every single step that you make. We are. Might not say much on it, but just know we are watching. And we're now at a stage as a nation where people are starting to keep tabs on every single thing, starting to keep track of it, and actually reminding you of it now as we progress onward. I would just hope that with Trump going forward, continue to be authentically you. That's all we ask. But also continue to be a man of honor. Continue to be one that is of dignity, that would truly uphold the promises that you laid out for us. Promises kept, right? Stand by that. That's all we ask. As for Kamala, I have nothing to say about that. And the audacity, you're gonna go and get Beyonce? When she's dealing with this whole diddler nonsense, everybody sees it. Everyone knows that her and her spouse have dealings with that. And you choose to go get that as one of your headliners in hopes that, oh, this is going to harness more votes. Not realizing no one is sipping that Kool-Aid anymore when it comes to her. And a lot of us never really have. We liked a few of her jams here and there from back in the day, but whoop-de-freaking-do. That was it. It wasn't enough to be a part of the beehive. To be quite honest, even for some of us who grew up listening to her from our high school years on up, we never considered ourselves to be a part of the beehive. We liked a few of her jams, true enough. But that was it. I never could understand what people saw in her as such a highlight. She made some great music, but it wasn't enough to become a psycho fan. To the point that people are now worshiping her and putting up churches and shit like that. What type of nonsense is that? The point I'm trying to make is even going to get her, or even going to get Meg Thee Stallion as an example, where you got her up there gyrating and doing all types of things at these rallies. When you could even have someone as controversial as the Christian gospel singer, Kirk Franklin. You can have those type of individuals to get on stage, dancing and doing all their stuff, shucking and jive, as I said. Thinking like, oh, this is really gonna get that minority vote. I really got it now. When a lot of us are just sitting back laughing, like, how pathetic. In other words, you could do better. People are now at a stage where we want you to just truly say what you mean and mean what you say. That means in regards to the politicians as a whole, whether you're left, right, backwards, and forwards. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't sit there and give us these false hopes, and then when it's time to, as I mentioned a moment ago, get down with the get down, as the old saying goes. You don't do it. Even a lot of us who had studied in the field, we understand that it's not a cookie cutter process. We understand when it comes to certain bills and such being passed through our political structure, the president does not have full control to make things go. It's more of a united front when it comes to the different systems: legislative, executive, judicial. We get that. But at the same time, if that is the case, just be more transparent about that. Be more transparent about who could be blocking it and why. Put them on Front Street, because after all, they're supposed to represent the people, right? Make it so that they have to make it clear to us why they are choosing to oppose whatever decision that it may be that can help better this nation. Put them in a hot seat for the world to see. It's easy for people to sit here and do this nonsense behind the scenes, but until you shine that light on them, they have no place to hide. They have to do just that. Be upfront about their decision for the world to see. That is all for this quick video, you guys. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'm gonna make this short, but as always, I am sending you guys off with love and light. And yeah, until next time, be blessed, you guys.